Hey everyone, this is Jarrett
And Annmarie.
from Living in Cary, and today we are doing the part 2 video on the pros and cons of Cary. Without further ado, let's get into it.
So, number one is weather. So, the weather in Cary is really good. Winter is very short, and when I want more winter, I go skiing and snow tubing in the mountains. So, that's a pro coming from the Northeast because it certainly seems like winter lasts too long in the Northeast.
Yeah, down here it's definitely, your winters are a lot shorter. The temperature really only gets as low as, 40 degrees, maybe, high 30s. There is some snow, only about 4 inches a year annually, and most of the time it'll snow, and then by the afternoon or mid-afternoon it's already gone. So if you're looking to get away from the snow but still have all 4 seasons, that's one of the best things that people love. They still love the 4 seasons. They still have a little bit of, sweatshirt, jacket weather, still get to see some snow, but they're not in it for 6 months out of the year like in the Northeast.
So you may get a month or two of winter, but you get an early spring, a nice hot humid summer, and a beautiful fall, and a very short winter, which is something I really like. So number two, outdoors and nature. So Cary's really family oriented, and there's lots to do outdoors. There's biking and hiking and tons of trails, and you can boat at some of the parks. So it's really a very family oriented area, and it's a great place if you enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, completely agree with that. There's so much you can do outdoors, and they have 88 miles of greenway, which is walking and biking trails all throughout the area. So that's a really cool feature. It even cuts through or around some developments, so you can go on a nice big huge long walk, and you'll still have 88 miles left to go. So it's a really cool feature. And there are lakes both in some developments like Lockmere, and also public lakes like Bond Park, which we did in our parks video. So you can get out there, get some kayaking going, and yeah, enjoy the nature.
Yep. So for number three, we're going to talk about culture and entertainment. Now, there are many things to do in downtown Cary and the surrounding area. It's every weekend. There's an outdoor market, or there's a arts and crafts show, or there's a band, a local band, let's say, that plays in downtown Cary or some of the restaurants, and also the Cocoa Booth Amphitheater. What you won't find in Cary is ballet and opera, and the major concerts are all in Raleigh, which is kind of like a hop, skip, and a jump to get there. So it's in the area, and there's plenty to do. However, you got to realize it's not New York City, so it's not L.A. or Hollywood. So, but there's still many things to take advantage of and to get outside, or even obviously indoors. And they do promote a lot of the arts for the young performers.
And at number 4, in no particular order, is the location of Cary. As we mentioned in previous videos and hinted a little bit here and there, it is a very nice central location to everything. It's very near RTP, it's very near the jobs. It is very close to Durham and Raleigh, which is where you're going to find your more urban activities, and like she said, the performing arts, all your types of arts and concerts, and urban city life are going to be done in those cities. So it's about 20 to 30 minutes to either one. It's very close. It is also very close to the major airport, our RDU, Raleigh-Durham International, which is also about 20-30 minutes. So really, you're in close proximity to really everything you could possibly need. Okay, so number 5, like we just mentioned, is going to be the colleges and universities in North Carolina.
And there are many great universities, right? So you've got UNC, that's in Chapel Hill, which is really close by. You've got North Carolina State University, which is in Raleigh. You've got Duke University, and that's in Durham. Okay, and then there's Wake Forest, which isn't close by, but it's another great school in the area. So if you want to go back to college, or you have children that are going to be going to college, it's a great state. Lots of options and great schools.
And not to mention, UNC has plenty of satellite campuses all around. There's also ECU, and there's Appalachian State also in the state. Not even mentioning the various other universities that are available. So, but the ones closest to Cary are, some of the best in the state. So that is very good to know. And at number 6, we have the food and restaurants. As we mentioned in the part 1 video, because Cary has such a diverse population and the surrounding Cary area, they have a great variety and selection of different types of foods and restaurants. They have anything you could possibly imagine, from Japanese food to Italian food to Turkish food to Indian food to Middle Eastern cuisine. They have everything you can possibly think of, and not to mention also Raleigh has some phenomenal restaurants that we've been to, so keep a lookout for those. But food and culture, big plus for us. And next up, we have everyone's favorite, good old Uncle Sam, taxes.
Yes, so taxes in Cary are, from my perspective, pretty good. There is a flat state income tax of 5.5%. So if you're a moderate to higher income earner, that's a great opportunity to save some money, because in the Northeast it's higher. Then we also have property tax. Now in the Northeast, property tax is much, much higher than it is in Cary. So the effective property tax rate in Cary is about 0.88%, which is really low. And that's a big savings for us living in Cary. Next up, we have sales tax. Sales tax is comparable to the Northeast. It's 7.25%. Most of the things that we were taxed on in the Northeast are also taxed in Cary, except for one thing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, taxes are better. In Cary, they're lower, and we like that.
Definitely.
Save money and spend it elsewhere.
Now we are going to get into the cons. Number 1, we have pollen. So, in the spring, there's a little joke that there's 5 seasons down here, and one of them is pollen. Pollen is pretty brutal in the spring for people who have bad allergies. So be aware that you might want to stock up on the allergy meds, or, hang on to your COVID masks or something and just wear them in the spring. I don't know. But pollen's pretty bad. So for all you people that suffer from bad pollen allergies, you should be on the lookout. One of our other cons is location. So, excuse me. We said Cary is very central to everything, and we love that about its location. But the one thing we don't love about its location is that it's so center to everything. It's pretty much in the center of the state. So if you want to do your winter activities, which you can still do in North Carolina, which is why it's so great. If you want to get your skiing done, you can go up into the Blue Ridge Mountains, and that's going to be, 2.5 to 3 hours to the mountains. Now on the other side, if you want to take it the complete opposite and go to the beach, it's also going to be about the same amount of time to go to the beach. And for us, coming from the Northeast, it was only about an hour to get to the beach. It's, perfect for a day trip or something. But when you're talking about a longer drive, it's a little bit of a con. But hey, if you're from the middle states, the flyover states, you don't have a beach. So, you might be thrilled about a 2 to 3 hour drive for the beach. So relative.
Yep. Yep. On the other hand, you don't have to worry about hurricanes and flooding and stuff like that for the most part.
So we also had a pro for culture and entertainment, but on the other side, culture and entertainment is a con, depending on where you're coming from, because, some people say that the Cary area is quote-unquote boring, and that's going to be relative to where you're coming from. If you're a big urban life city goer, you live in or right outside the city, you go in every weekend, you enjoy it, there's not as many attractions and things to do, like the arts, museums, you name it. There's not as much here. And people have, kind of said that the area is a little boring.
So let me just give you my perspective. I love Broadway theater. Love it. Going to plays in New York City is always a real treat, a mini vacation. It's not something that you're really going to find in this area. So if you're a Broadway buff, have the understanding that maybe you're going to travel to New York City or LA and spend a week going to theater, because it's quite a bit different here. Yeah? Yeah.
And to round out our cons, we have taxes. And the only really con we see with taxes is that there's a tax on clothing, a 7.25% tax on clothing. So, I don't know, if you like to buy clothes, you're going to have a 7.25% tax on them. So, something to be aware of.
Or maybe you travel somewhere where there's no tax on clothes, and you come home and you ship your wardrobe. No, there is yeah. So that's a bit different from the Northeast. We don't have a tax on clothes for the most part in New Jersey. But unless you buy a lot of clothes and a lot of high-end clothes, it probably won't matter very much. So, and there's plenty of shopping, plenty of stores to go visit and price shop.
So that rounds out our part 2 video. If you found the video helpful, please give us a big old thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you're thinking about moving or relocating to the Cary area,
we got you covered. You can reach us any time of day. Just shoot us a phone call, email, or text, and we'll gladly help you find the right place to live.
Thank you, everyone. We will catch you in the next video. See ya.
Bye.